What's up guys, TechVault here. If you still think that the 2DS is a useless device compared to the 3DS, then you probably haven't wrapped your hands around one yet. Putting out a two-dimensional version of the 3DS with all the other nifty features might seem like an odd idea at first, but once you pick up one, it all starts to make sense. The 2DS needs to yell its message loud and clear. It's a cheaper and more robust handheld, and therefore it's perfect for kids. So let's start with the design. The clamshell is now gone. Yes, the lack of a hinge means that the Nintendo 2DS comes in a wedge-shaped design that looks and feels pretty weird at first. But within a few minutes of holding it, I found that these feelings slowly faded away. And actually the 2DS is surprisingly comfortable to hold. It's not the most ergonomic thing in the world, though it's certainly better than what I expected. All the buttons found on the 3DS are here, except there's also been a slidable sleep button added to compensate for the lack of a hinge closing functionality. Meanwhile, the home button has been blown up a bit and sits under the bottom display. The start and select buttons can now be found to the right of the screen, and the circle pad and D-pad are now further up on the left. The Nintendo 2DS doesn't feel like a premium piece of tech. Instead, Nintendo has opted for something that feels cheaper to the original 3DS. Even with its plastic build, make no mistake, the 2DS is built really well, and you could chuck this at something with a fair bit of force and it'd still be okay. Kids and hinges don't tend to get along together, and so does delicate touchscreens. Now moving on to the performance. The 2DS can play all your 3DS titles and your DS games too. If you're familiar with the 3DS, then there's nothing new to tell you here in terms of what titles are on offer. In terms of how you play, removing 3D on most games won't affect gameplay, but there are a few exceptions, such as Mario 3D Land, where parts of the game will become more challenging as a result. As for other games, you'll get a 4GB SD card with the 2DS, which will let you download a few titles, but anything more than 3 or 4 big games and you'll want to get something bigger. As I mentioned earlier, the 2DS doesn't have 3D, but its displays are the same ones used in the 3DS in all other aspects. The lack of 3D might be an advantage to some people, as there will be no annoying visual artifacts left by the stereoscopical 3D. In addition, the 2DS has a better pixel density and therefore a sharper resolution than the 3DS XL. So does that mean that the 2DS screens are great? No! The low resolution relative to today's modern smartphones and tablets is really beginning to show. Plus, the bottom touchscreen is still resistive, which means that even though it's tempting to want to tap buttons with your fingers, especially in the settings menu, you still need to take out that stylus to get a good, consistent result in terms of registering taps. So, in conclusion, the 2DS plays all the games I wanted to play. It costs a decent amount less than the 3DS, and does away with the gimmicky 3D. Despite weighing slightly more, it actually feels like a more durable travel companion. It would be nice if they left out the 3D cameras on the back and included a hardware Wi-Fi toggle, but that's not a deal breaker. The 2DS is a clever reiteration of Nintendo's current 3DS lineup, and it should convince casual fans and fence-sitters to finally take the plunge and pick up a 2DS for themselves. If this video helped you, then don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. So, this is TechVault signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.